everyone, and welcome back to What Mistakes Can Tara Make with a Basic Craft Kit. If you have seen any of my previous videos, you will see that I attempted to make some soap and the colour did not work out the way I wanted it to. This week I'm taking a step up and attempting to make some candles with the Candle Supply craft kit that I received. Here's some I prepared earlier. I made two. In both the candles that I made, once they dried or cured, there is a sinkhole next to the wick in both of them. I did look up what causes sinkholes in candles, and apparently it has something to do with the speed in which they dry, and it doesn't stick to the inside of the wick, something along those lines. I did pre-warm my glasses. That's one thing they tell you to do, is put the glasses in the oven on the lowest temperature so that they're not too cold when we pour the mix in, and that is meant to make a difference. I did that with these and it did make a difference, so I'm going to attempt to make some more. I have already prepared them. I've added the wick, so you get little adhesive stickers, put those in the center of the candle, and then the popsicle stick holds the wick in place like so. I did read that temperature plays a very important role, so I'm going to give you a handy tip. Temperature plays a very important role in the finish of candles. Please read the instructions carefully, which I did, before starting to create your candles to ensure you achieve the best possible results. As you can see, first time around I didn't achieve the best possible results, but I'm going to try again. Okay, so I've prepared my jars. I'm going to put both of these jars into the oven on the lowest temperature, and then I'm going to melt some wax. I'll be back. Alright, so I have melted my wax down. This time I did it in two pots, a medium pot and a small pot. It melted a lot quicker. The first time I did it, I used the jug and put that straight into the pot, and it took forever to melt. So I recommend just pouring it into a smaller pan or pot that you can melt the liquid in. It says to add, I'm just making sure I'm reading the instructions correctly. So the jar's obviously warm from the oven, and then I want to add the fragrance. The temperature that I reached with my wax when I boiled it and melted it was 85. That's what the instructions say to pour at. When I looked at the YouTube video, they said that sometimes you can pour at a cooler temperature to stop or try to avoid the sinkholes. So I'm hoping that it will cool down slightly when I add the fragrance, and it may work better. So I'm going to add some champagne and strawberries fragrance. If you saw my soap video, I'm quite heavy-handed with the fragrance, so I'm only going to add a little bit. That was probably quite a lot, but it's a little bit for me. And then it says you want to stir slowly. The instructions actually say 50 slow stirs to make sure it's evenly distributed throughout the wax. Yesterday I stirred it really quickly when I did the first lot of candles, so I'm hoping that if I stir it a little slower, that I may be able to save these candles. Okay, I'm hoping that that was about 50 slow stirs, even though I sped it up and I probably looked like I was going really quick. It also says when pouring in to pour it slowly. Yesterday I probably poured really quickly as well. So I'm going to pour it slowly into the jar, leaving about 8 to 10 millimeters at the top for the wick to stick out of. So here we go, pouring slowly. Now I'm going to leave that to the side, make sure your wick is straight. I'll actually bend it over a little bit so it stays in place. and I will move that one to the side. I still have a little bit of wax left, so I'm going to top up and do my other candle. The next scent I'm going to add in is lime basil mandarin. So just pour a tiny bit of fragrance in there. Again, 50 slow stirs. Attempting to pour slowly, making sure I'm leaving a good amount at the top. Okay, so now I'm going to put these aside to cool. I did read that the temperature has a lot to do with the cooling process, as I mentioned earlier, but it also, the temperature in the room whilst it is cooling makes a difference. So they said the slower the candle cools, the smoother the top will be. So make sure your work area is at or above standard room temperature, preferably around 25. My house is about that. I checked my temperature and it's about 25 in the house. It is warm up here, and I thought maybe that would have had something to do with my other candles cooling, maybe, well, going too quick. But I mean, it's the perfect temperature. So these should come out beautifully. Okay, so I'll put them aside to dry and let you see the finished product. So while I'm waiting for my other candles to cure, I am going to attempt to fix my sinkholes. I did read that if you melt the wax around the sinkhole area, that it all should fall in and, you know, reset itself. I did use a soldering iron just to melt the outside of that sinkhole. I've run out of gas now, so that's not going to work. I also attempted to use this. It really didn't work as well, but it does work for the smaller one. I've got just a tiny sinkhole in this second one. So you just melt the wax around the sinkhole. Let's see how far it goes. And then it should melt into itself. And what I also did, which isn't advised, well, it's not advised, no one told me to do it. I whipped up a bit more of the same wax. And I'm probably not doing the correct thing, so do not copy me. But I'm just going to place a little more, just so it's even, because at the moment it doesn't look like it's going to be even. Might look like a dog's breakfast, and I'm going to just poke into this hole, because I don't know how deep it goes. Oh, that's deep. And then I'm just going to, with this one, I'm just going to try and pour some extra wax in the hole. Oh, yep. And I'll see if that makes a difference. I'll let you know if my technique, whilst it's not advised at the moment, I'll let you know if it works for me. And so now I'll set those ones aside, and then once they all dry, I will cut the wicks. They advise you not to burn the candles for about, they say to leave it for 3 days before you actually burn the candles. But with natural wax, like soy wax, they actually advise 1 to 2 weeks before lighting the candles. But before the end of this, I will light one of mine and see how it looks, just to test it out. Finally, I have made it to the end of my video and the end of my candle making career. I have let these ones sit that I did today for about 3 hours. They say to let them sit for 3 days minimum before you light them, or at least 1 to 2 weeks. I'm a bit of a rebel, so I'm going to live a little, and I've already lit one. I did this yesterday, so I just want to see what it smells like. Out of the 4 that I did today, 3 of them had sinkholes, only 1 didn't. I wish I could tell you why that is, but I can't, because I use the same process for all of them, and like I said, 3 have sinkholes, 1 does not. The 2 that I did yesterday and I added the extra wax to, they turned out okay. Are they going to pass quality control? Probably not, but they will be fine for my living room. Can I say I enjoyed the process? Not really. It was messy and slow, Would I do it again? Probably not. Will I ever complain about paying good money for a candle ever again? No, I won't, because it's exhausting. So put the candle prices up because you deserve it. That's it for me today. The candle smells pretty good. So if you enjoyed my video, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.